Hi, I am Adivisi Pelumi, and welcome to my conversation with BrymO. Yes, the founding father, in my opinion, if you like, come and challenge me, you don't know, the founding father of the alternative music genre in Nigeria. Thank you for joining me, BrymO. Thank you so much. I mean, yesterday I was on Twitter and I saw a lot of Sigma fans posting about their favorite album, lyrics they love about your work. It was good. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see, especially when someone spoke about Yellow being 3 yesterday. Yes, 3 years. Yes. How does that feel?
Feels good. I mean, I realized later on. Now, for the craziest part is there was a post of 2 girls competing for bags. And one of them was very yellow. In fact, the ribbons holding the bags were yellow ribbons. And then the girl wearing yellow won both bags.
Wow.
And the first time I watched the video, I didn't put the audio.
It was the bottle flip challenge. Yes. Yeah, I saw that video.
The first time I watched the video, I didn't put the audio. I was just watching the video. And from the get-go, I was looking at the girl in yellow like, why is she so happy? And she won both bags.
She won both bags.
And I was like, damn, yellow is truly called happy. And then I tweeted that. And then somebody told me, yeah, yellow is 3 today. And I was like, Jesus, is it? Can you imagine? I was celebrating yellow without forgetting altogether that it was the day I released it 3 years ago.
Wow.
I think this life will be zombies, will be robots, I would think. Patterns are sticking. If you don't take your time, if you're not observant, patterns will
overrun you, yeah. So how would you say you've always noticed patterns when you were young, or is something that you grew up with, or there was just a realization like, okay, you know how to notice patterns? Because I notice patterns too, but like, I want to know how you got into that.
I think it's from completion of tasks. The more I sort of complete tasks, the more I get in tune with patterns.
With patterns.
Completion. Wow. So I think the ability to complete. I'm sure you probably hold the job, or maybe you run a business of your own. Yeah, completion of tasks. As many tasks as you complete, you get more conversant to patterns.
Wow, that's really interesting. So you were born May 9. I was born May 4th. May.
It's Thursday.
It really is. And you're an only child. I'm also an only child, which is
for real.
For real.
You are the folks.
Honestly, I mean, they're in Lagos.
Both of them
Together? No, not together. They're just doing separate
but both of them have only one child.
Only one child, just me. Just.
Yo, your parents are chilling, man. Oh my God, that's so cool. Like the word broken home doesn't even apply.
It doesn't apply.
Because they're still together.
Yeah, they're together. I know they don't talk, so what I did is I created a group chat and I put 2 of them in. They can't send messages. I don't know sending messages. It was really crazy.
That's so cool.
So you have like a dual religious background, right?
Yes.
Islam and Christianity. Yes. Would you say that has formed the basis of your views or your lyrics, or how has that helped your creativity, really?
Well, I think I read something one time that those of 2 religions have no God, or something like that. And that's simply because religion, as I get older, has become more and more about branding, about marketing. Now, people survive in this world. That's what we've done for thousands of years. It always feels like there was a more spiritual era, and now we are not spiritual. People have always just been surviving.
Okay.
Which is the reason why there is the Hindu religion, there's the Buddhism, there's Jewish religion, there's Islam, there's Christianity, and all of these religions hold separate views about God. And then it has you wondering, who is going to hell and who's going to heaven? Whose God runs heaven?
And whose God runs hell?
Yeah. You know, and Christians are certain that Muslims are not going to paradise, and Muslims are certain that
Christians are
not. Jannah is not for the Christians. In fact, Quranically, whoever is not a Muslim is going to hell.
And whoever is not a Christian is also going to hell.
It's branded, but God is real. That's how I like to feel. I like to see it because I will go to Badagry then. My maternal grandfather Akeju. That was his name, Akeju. Stubborn motherfucker. Jesus Christ. This man was a Christian who was given titles in the shrine.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's how it works in Nigeria.
True.
There's always traditional shit coming after you. You're going, you are our child and you are big and you're important. Take this something title of this. Yeah. I mean, the title of Ariel Okanfo is very traditional.
Yes.
It's very traditional. That I like to think that it's part of Abiola's. It became part of Abiola's fate. Because the Aaron Okakamfo does not go to war and return lost.
And return lost, yeah.
He has to win or die.
And there were a lot of rumors surrounding how he could not be killed. A lot of times that they wanted to kill him while he was held captive. So yeah, I understand where you're saying.
So you took that title and you had to live through
that title.
To the title. So because of that, because of all the different brands of what God may be like and what God requires, and those who are born of dual religions or more will automatically become heathens. There's no other way around it.
And it's even more difficult being an only child because you can't say you want to align with just one side of religion and then leave. You have to like constantly remain
every night at
the bridge.
My popsy is reporting to me how my mom went to vigil last Friday.
Wow.
My man, we are church in the Musashi, and I'm still like what the hell is this?
What? Wow.
And then she's like, it's the same God. Today, when my mom calls and she's on the phone, she just goes, look at Jesus, Olawale Ashimi, look at Muhammad. Oh my God. She prays like 4 different kinds of. So
she goes into both religions.
And you know, in the yin yang, the yang is a feminine. Feminine side, and it sees everything equally, and the yin is winner takes all. It's a very, very important analogy of men and women. In fact, we don't know that. That's why we have problems here. Women sees everybody as equals,
but men
is winner takes all. Women want to divide everything so everybody can chop equally.
True. But I think it's because men, historically and in society, we've always been like at the forefront of decisions, of shaping things.
It's just nature anyway. Yin yang. Really? Yeah. Okay. One winner takes all here. Everybody gets equal there. Yin yang.
But there's like a balance to it at the end.
The balance is always that when we are about to run things down, the women will show up and regulate it. But when the women run things, it can be a bit, it can be a lot. Because then sports will be useless. Classes will be useless. There will be no winner. Because everybody will be equal. So it won't work.
It won't work, true.
But when we handle things, it sort of looks better for a while, but it will also become edgy. It's also become tight after a while. Then the feminine energy will come in to soften it up. Yeah.
That's true. All right. Would you say like you are a controversial artist at some point, or do you think it's just people that do not match your thinking rhythm or frequency? Which one would you say it is?
I never set out to become controversial. I wanted to be cool-headed all the time, to be chill, just smile and just be happy. But over time I realized that because there are norms and these norms are there and people just go by them daily. And you want to change them, it's tough. Even for myself, when I find a new perspective and I say I want to change my mind, it's tough. First of all, everything around you will sort of crumble. Yeah. Your friends will misunderstand you. Your lover, everybody will just be like, okay, what's this again? Because you're trying to change your mind. So imagine how the public will take it. It will be like, what's this again? Yeah. So that's where controversy came in. And then when I realized it was necessary, I had to embrace it. But if you notice, I'm constantly trying to get away from it. The idea of sonic artistry, for instance, becoming a sonic artist, came from there. And I won't lie to you, I am seriously heartbroken. Musicians break my heart every day.
I know you've always mentioned
every new day. Jesus.
Can you explain?
Okay. In my opinion, there are a lot of hindrances against the music business, and everybody thinks it's the media, it's the record labels, it's the government, it's corrupt politicians, it's corporate people trying to control the music industry.
Basically, every other person except the musicians.
And then I got involved. The more I got involved, the more I realized that it was always us. It was always us. The money bags, the gatekeepers, when the artists insist, they pipe low. Okay. So things are the way they are because musicians do not insist.
They do not insist.
Things are the way they are because whenever an A-lister gets to the peak, they do not ask for solutions so that the business can be better for everybody. They ask for personal investment.
Renovations.
And so I couldn't take that. And the higher I got, the more I wanted to create unifying solutions. And then the more musicians are like, you collect. And then I'm like, all of them I will collect me.
but in your words, like you said, men will always look for winner to take all. Yeah. So I feel like that's still
the problem
the
is
basic
winner,
drive.
Winner and Stiller. Two different people. For it to be winner, there must be
a fair contest.
Yes.
But then, in the Stiller's mind, he's a winner.
That's what it thinks. Yeah, that's what it thinks.
All right.
That's what it thinks.
Oh, that's true. So in one of your interviews, you were talking. I think you were asked a question about how you said deep experiences help you get to deep levels of conclusions in your thoughts. What was that deep experience you had, or rather, what was your awakening moment? Like your eureka moment? Like you knew that, okay, wow, this is different. Like, okay, this is a different kind of consciousness, or a different your higher self. How did you access your higher self?
I'm still doing it. In reality, you just discover newer parts of yourself every day. From one day you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was there. And the next day you're like, whoa, I didn't know that was there.
But there would have been that first one that was like...
Yeah, I think there have been so many ones that I can't just remember. But I remember at 9, the major changes started for me at 9. I think one of the first events was that I was sleeping one night.
Yep.
And I woke up suddenly. I was sleeping on the couch, my parents on the bed. This was one room apartment in Local Michael. Face you. So I was sleeping on the couch and there on the bed. Yeah. And I woke up in the middle of the night choking. I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And I was, there was kerosene all over my body. I actually poured kerosene on myself.
While you were asleep?
And I did it, maybe sleepwalking or something.
Okay.
But I woke up with fumes choking me, I guess.
Yeah.
So I woke up, I couldn't breathe. I could have died actually that night. That was one of the first things that happened to me. Now I remember a story in the Quran where the hadith, where it was said that Muhammad was taken somewhere and he was re-engineered. You know, I never believed that story until that day. Like, so when we evolve, there are parts of evolution that are very, very spiritual. That night, my evolution began at 9. That's why 9 means a lot to me. I was one of the 9th day of May, for instance.
Yes.
So, as I woke up, I couldn't breathe and I could not call them. Just across the room, like, and then suddenly I told myself, just die and I end by dying. And then I just accepted it and said, okay, when you wake up to find me. And then as soon as I accepted it, my lungs just opened immediately. I started breathing again. I never told my parents this today.
Wow.
Never told either of them.
Wow.
And then that's one of the first life-changing experiences for me. And from that day on,
I feel like that's the point. Fear kind of like walked out.
From that day on, somebody be like, "I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, "Sorry?" I don't understand.
How?
Get out.
Deeply.
Something like that.
All right. Wow, that was. When I imagined this question, the kind of responses I was imagining to get, I did not in 1,000 thoughts thought this was going to come to light.
I never expected the question myself.
All right, so let's talk about your mindset. If you could define your mindset, what would you say your mindset is?
My mindset is in yin yang. When Sam Smith came out and said that he wants to be addressed as they, I was like, now wow, what's it be this again?
Personally, a lot of white folks want to be addressed by a lot of things
because the world is very reckless. When you make a choice and you stay with that choice, you become boxed by it. And now the title, gender title is becoming a problem. It's not sexuality. People are just making a mistake of saying they. That means maybe they take dick and they like pussy at the same time. All that crap. No, not necessarily. Sometimes the world is just a crazy place where people box you up in your definition.
Yep.
So in order for you to not be boxed up, you have to now come up, have a state of mind that's very, very malleable. Now I'm not a they, I'm a he, but my state of mind is very, very, very
fluid.
Very fluid. Okay. I have no consistent choices over stuff. I'm not yin and yang in my choices. I wait. I just wait and wait and wait for the right choice for that situation. I don't care if you think I'm making a woman choice or a man choice. That's not my problem.
That's not your problem. Okay.
It is the uniqueness of the matter that I look at, and then I make a choice on it. Which means that the situation must involve you, at least one person extra.
Yeah.
As soon as there's somebody else involved, then I must stop. So the choices I make must be good for both of us.
Wow.
That's all.
I feel like the closest to this mindset I've seen that is similar to this would have been Bruce Lee when he was talking about become water. When water is put inside a cup, it becomes the cup when it's put inside. container, it becomes that container.
You freeze it, it freezes.
It freezes itself.
Whatever you do, it does.
Wow.
You boil it, evaporates.
It just keeps changing states.
According to whatever you do.
Wow.
Yeah. It's up to you.
Okay.
So I try to be tabula rasa every morning when I wake up.
Which is
the main reason I stay up all night is because I cannot go to bed and wake up in the next morning and be like, oh, that matter, I never clear them. No, I'm not going to bed. I'm going to be up for days. When I go to bed empty.
Wow.
Clean. I wake up with a new, fresh slate, a clean slate.
Okay. Whew, it's getting interesting. Let's talk about your truths. What truths do you hold at your core that you know that regardless of how fluid your thought is, regardless of whatever everything is coming from outside, these are the truths that you would not compromise on or they are not changing at any point?
Well, if they were those, then I will not gonna be fluid. So
that is true.
So that is true. Instead of having those truths, what I have is I have some kind of ideals.
Okay.
No, the ideal is like the walking coding of the truth.
Okay.
So in the background, the ideals don't change.
Okay.
But physically, the symbols of the truth can change. But in the background, the ideals don't change. For instance, if there are two options, don't choose one. Chances are that the best choice is in the middle. Is somewhere in the middle there.
The balance of both options.
Most importantly, if you have two choices, either you created them yourself or somebody. If you are choosing to be two people, one of them may have created a state of mind for another choice for you, or you created both choices for yourself. None of them is good. If you have to choose between the two, then don't choose anyone. If one of them chose the other option for you, then don't choose anyone because you're not choosing anyone. Somebody's choosing for you. So what I always do is I like to think that the best choice is the one choice I have.
Which is a balance.
I do not have a plan B. My plan B is to make sure that plan A works. As soon as there's a plan A and B, then I need a C then. None of them is good.
Wow.
That is the core. That is the most important thing that I work with every time because adulthood is about choices. Really.
Choices.
Free will.
Decisions.
It's my choice. It's my choice. It's my choice. It's my choice. It's my choices. So that is the cuckoo. I will not make a choice. I'll make me wake up tomorrow and I'm like, oh God, why did I choose that now? Yeah.
All right.
You know.
Let's talk about LASU.
Yes.
You signed up to study zoology, I think, at LASU, and then at your second year, you left to pursue your career in music. So I want to ask, was it an intentional decision to leave LASU, or was it circumstantial, or was it just a mix of both?
Yeah. Everything works together. I don't think I've ever done anything with one reason in my life. There's always why I don't want to do it, why I want to do it, why I should do it, why it needs getting done by its surrounding. There's always like 4 reasons. And I think the one I wait for the most is why it needs getting done by the surrounding. Because you can get things done and you still won't make any difference afterwards. Like if I didn't go about the way I went about living Chocolate City and alternative and everything. Alternative, do you know how long it took for the alternative scene to go viral? Like 2-3 years. No, it was quick. Like it's too quick. It was very quick. Think about it. 2013. So now it's like 10 years ago.
3 years.
Like 10 years ago. And the alternative talk. And even they are giving awards to it like 5 years back already. They've been giving awards to it.
And then there's this old Gen Z wanting to be into that music genre. Yeah.
So it was so easy just 10 years ago. And now it's big. It's everywhere. Because it's not such a big deal. It's just about the system. So what was the question again? I
was asking if leaving LASU was circumstantial or intentional.
So there's always multiple reasons. For instance, I was always worried. I was skeptical about the university system here. Because after secondary school, when my friends returned from the higher institution, the one who got admission first, I'll be like, when they talk, I'll be like, not so in the sound though, last year. You can't come up for here. I don't know if it's God though. I don't feel this shit.
Oh, good God.
So if I go to university, I will not change. Nothing will be changed. I thought it was supposed to be like a higher institution where you do research work and do a lot of practical work. I never got to do any practical work in secondary school. Chemistry is always being read. The physics, if you do swinging pendulum experiment.
I think that was like the highest. At the chemistry, there was titration.
Nothing more. Is that how it's going to be? Just going to be there reading and talking. The people will come up and talk about how rude lecturers are. I don't want to sleep with women for grades, marks. Then I keep asking myself, If the girls have to sleep with them for marks, what do the boys have to do? It's join cults. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about that, yeah.
The thing is so strong that when I was in LASU, the boys came to me once to talk to me, to recruit me, and then I walked away. And 5 minutes later, the campus marshals were harassing me for them. I knew they were, because when I turned back, I saw Shegun looking at me, just going, "We told you to join us."
Wow.
So, you see, then there was a lecturer who was always rude to us. I wish I just remember his name, just say his name one time. Professor, I've heard his name, he's physics lecturer.
It had to be physics.
Because the course hard. Even for
Yes,
him.
no.
I just say your brain is scrambled. This man, he would come to class, and then he would just insult everybody. And there were like 1,000 students in this theater, all the way to like 2-story building from this place. And he would just be talking low. And then they would be like, "Sir, we can't hear you." Be like, "I know many of you came from Bush secondary schools." Oh my God. And they would insult and insult.
How does
that, right?
Yeah.
Insult, and now go catch up. The VC himself was teaching physics. So 100 level students. So every time the VC comes, he is head of department. And VC is VC, right?
Yeah.
And the VC was new, so it wasn't like he was the boss yet. It was just fresh.
Fresh, yeah.
So as soon as VC came in to class, his PA would come in with his mic and set up his microphone and his speaker, his personal PA
system, so that everyone can
hear him. And then when this man comes in, he will hold his microphone and wait for 5 minutes sometimes while we are all murmuring. He won't say a word. We'll just wait. And everybody will realize one by one, the VC is in front of you. And everybody will wait and stop talking. Oh my God, he will wait. And when we are done, he will now go, "How are you all?" And they'll be like, "We are fine, sir." His patience just disarms everybody. And they'll start teaching.
I can bet you remember the name of your VC.
Salah also.
Yeah.
Salah did. Yeah, and then the next thing I'll see, like, he would, over 80%, 90% of us scored well in his physics.
Wow.
Which was what he told the other man, Dr. Shomoyi, I think. Which was what he told the other man in the end, that you're a bad lecturer. Wow. How can 90% of your students fail your course? And then he has to jack up our marks. Well, I went from pass to credits eventually.
Smooth. Oh, really smooth. Yeah. And it's weird that Nigerian lecturers, I don't know about now, but then they have this joy when a lot of students fail their course. Like, I think it's a bragging right.
A is so good. B is for me. C is for you. I never seen it before. You want that be good to God.
Oh, Lord. All right, let's talk about... I hope I pronounce this properly. Macabre.
I think right? Macabre, I said that.
Macabre. Okay, macabre. Because let me read something. According to the dictionary, it describes something such as an event or a story when it's strange and horrible or upsetting. Yes. So, why that title for this album, for this project?
Yeah, I think I would say it clearly. This is one album that has a lot of angle to its inspiration. The title was inspired by my experiences with other fellow musicians.
Okay.
Yeah, the title itself. And then the release date, the number of tracks, the position on my list of albums, all then just come together to create a holistic essence for the album. In the sense that the 12th, which is December, is also the birth month of my muse.
Wow.
And that's the number of albums that this is for me as well.
Okay.
Which then dictated the number of tracks. And then,
love symmetry and patterns there.
And then in the process, that all of that is one corner. But Macabre itself, the idea for me is that nobody buys really, really sad story. The reason Adele was selling all of our heartbreak songs and stuff is because she has gone past the heartbreak.
Yes.
It's a celebration. Even though she's singing there, you're going, "Oh, they really broke her heart." She's no longer there.
She's no longer
That's
there.
why you're listening. It's a celebration. So, in order for, because I'm still here, the musicians are still here.
Yeah.
They can still send their robots to tweet things that will upset me. But at the same time, it's just different. If I could transmute the energy from what I'm truly feeling to what I should be feeling.
Something positive.
Yes. So although the title is Macabre, trust me, all of the songs are just like love songs and enlightening songs and uplifting songs. Wow. So I try to create art that is opposite of what Macabre is. Macabre is supposed to be gory.
It is supposed to be gory, because when I saw the announcement on your tweet and listening or checking the meaning, I'm like, hey, BrymO, what have you thought? Like, what happened? What was this inspiration coming from? So I knew I had to ask the question.
So the idea is to now take the energy and then transmute it and make sure. In fact, that's the only reason I'm still around here. If you notice, most of the A-listers, the older they become, the more the music is violent. Go and listen to the lyrics. I'm your father. Don't talk shit to me, I'll hit you. Yes, it's just, they get more and more angry. The energy here angers you.
True.
The older you become. Younger people are online telling you are old, go offline. You're old, go and die.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So people get very, very riled up about it. And in the process, it causes trouble. So I'm trying to avoid that energy, first of all.
Okay.
And then the musicians who are used to surviving in that corner, I am now telling them that it is wrong. So they are coming for me, too. The women are coming for me. The men are coming for me. You don't want to know, man.
Wow.
See, when they tell you that you are alone on top, people don't know what it means at all. It's because the top is supposed to be for the most unique. The people with the brightest ideas are supposed to be the ones at the top. So the reason you are alone at the top is not because you are at the top. It's because you are unique. You will be unique in every way too. I'm sorry. People will not understand you, and they are not going to forgive you.
True.
They're not going to be like, well, he's just smarter than us. Let's like him like that. No.
Humans don't work that way.
Yeah, they don't work that way. So it keeps you in a lonely spot.
But how do you balance out the constant? I'm trying to look for another word instead of attack, but I guess I still have to use that word. The constant attack and barging in from the general public, basically, for your music, to what you tweet, to what you say. I mean, the last election, there was something you spoke about, which, in my opinion, you actually said what is actually happening, but somehow people can't separate sentiments from logical conversation. So
what I do is I wait like my VC.
After the old murmuring,
I wait, and then I wait, and people go around. Like after audio leaks are coming out about the certain candidates, going yes daddy like a billion times. People are now saying, oh, BrymO was right after all. But being right is never my motive. My motive is to be productive.
Okay.
Because as soon as they say, oh, wow, you are right, something has gone wrong.
How do you mean something has gone wrong?
Because
they'd have moved from the points, or
either nobody listened and something already failed. Yeah. Or you were right, truly, but there are some people in the room looking at you going, you are right. It's not fun. It's not just fun to be the guy who wins like that. It's better if when we said it, everybody said, who agrees to this plan, let's vote. And then we chose sides, and then we were right. That would be like, yes, we all did it together. That's productive. Wow. But if it was on my word alone, and everybody was like, are you sure? And they did it, and then they got it, they will always be like, wow, you're right. That kind of win is very, I'm the guy.
It's very announcing. All right. So while you're waiting for the whole moment and everything to go on, what do you do to like keep your mind fluid?
I keep creating. For instance, I need 12 songs on Macabre, right? And then 5.5 to 6 songs on Maestro. Now there is a project coming after Macabre that's called Penchant. That's going to be exactly like a Sonic collection. Okay. Like Mansa. So it will also be a one-off copy. Yeah. Wow. But I have very, very special plans for Petrichor because it's going to be a Yoruba album completely. So
super excited for that one.
But when that time comes, you will see it. And I'll probably start recording this year. And I haven't even started on Macabre yet. So you see, there's a lot to do anyway.
There's a lot to do. So what I know from being a creative is sometimes when you push yourself to create a particular work of art or project, it drains your creative energy, and you need to recharge at some point. But you're here talking about you need to record Macabre, you need to record Petrichor, you need to record. What keeps fueling your creative juices? I need to know, because as a creative and lots of other creatives that are watching this, if we can find out what you use, possibly, just maybe, it could help us.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. at the very get-go, it's like a build, drained, release, recharge, try again.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Nothing has changed actually for me too.
The rates.
Yes. It's like, okay, for instance, I was maybe 17, 15
Okay.
when I started to go into music. If I wrote my first song at 15, I took R. Kelly's Storm Is Over. And then I started writing, future, if the future is rough. Anyway, storm is over, storm is over now.
Yeah.
You see? That's what I do. And then there was an R. Kelly song called Snake. When you're running like a snake, man. Like that. And then I went, I like young girls in the party. Yo. So what I did was, I started writing at 15. So then I would mirror songs that I like. I write my version of them. Then I did that for a while. So much that 2 years into starting up, I had written like around 50 songs. In choruses, in chorus and verse, in chorus and two verse, in different finished state. Wow. And none of those songs ever got recorded or released till date. Imagine what you'd learn if you have written 150 songs that never got used. Something like that.
Okay.
And then I started, okay, for instance, I was at Osho. When I would go to a gig, after the performance, I'll be tired for 2 weeks. I can't perform for 2 extra weeks. I'll go to rest.
After performing?
Yes.
Back then?
Tired. Wow. Super tired. And then, but I wanted to be faster, right? I wanted to do more. And then, I think it just comes a time. Now there's a trick life plays on us. Making us feel like free will is really real. Like there's something we did that changed everything. Because if that thing doesn't exist, it will not be free will. It will not be real, it will be like robots.
This analogy is not about. It's starting to feel like God innovated mankind.
I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna get there.
So one of your tweets that I'm particularly interested about, let me read it out. If you would like me to talk about religion and my wider views, and this may be intense and politically, theologically, and culturally incorrect, rated 21 plus, vote yes, vote no, or after Ramadan. I voted after Ramadan.
I love voting.
Yes, Mary. I knew I was going to have this conversation with you. I was working, so I knew that I wanted to have this conversation with you because I knew in one of your interviews you spoke about how you had views about politics and religions that if you were to talk about them now would upset a lot of people. So I feel like we can have this conversation because I have my own. I was raised in a Christian home. I hope my mom doesn't see it. I was raised in a Christian home, grew up Christian, did everything Christian. But at some point, I started questioning a lot of things.
Of course.
Because if you look at it,
there are 3 gods from Abrahamic Conilon.
Like
there's Judaism, there is Islam, there is Christianity.
And I'm now wondering, like, okay, so what did we do? What is the wrong thing or the information that we missed? So I'd like to hear your view.
That's all I like to say. Religion is predominantly the standing history of a people and the attempt by their heads to prescribe rituals. These rituals are based on the regular patterns of the life of those people. And then these heads come out and say that if we behave like this day to day, we will be free. We will have an abundance. There will be more respect. I mean, what does religion contain? Respect from wife to husbands. Respect from children to parents. Respect from
creator to creator.
And this is how you observe that respect to your God. This is how you observe respect to your husband. This is how you treat your parents. That's all this is about. It's just rituals. So every culture now comes up with its own set of rituals based on its history.
And that can also align with their culture.
Which is why in African settings, you hear things like, the gods are mad, there's been no rain. Let us now go and do this ritual so there can be rain. Islamically, if Christianity was encroaching the Middle East and Muhammad was going to create a movement that's strong enough to resist it, why would they pray 5 times a day? Why not? They have to pray 5 times a day to be strong.
To be strong, yeah.
So I believe religion is according to the necessity of the group, of the place where it is created for. Which is why every tradition, every culture on earth literally has a religion. No matter how small it is, no matter how traditional it is. There's a Madioha somewhere, there's Shango somewhere. Every tribe, every village on earth has its own brand of religion. Because religion is specifically tailored to take your culture, take your history, and then create rituals around it.
Well, here's the tricky part though. It does work these different religions, it does work. There's different results, different people who will tell you they did this in the time of this and this is what they got. So do you think that at some point, because in my imagination I feel like in the end everybody might just go to the same place and we'll just find out that we've just been chilling with our own thoughts and beliefs on our own?
Yeah, I mean, there's God.
True.
If there are so many religions,
There's one God.
there must be one God.
And science will say it in a safe way. There's an intelligent creator.
A universe, the energy.
True,
you know?
true.
So there is that solid. But if you ask me, bro, I cannot remember where I came from. I cannot remember who I was if I was born. I don't think I will have to worry about it when I'm gone. I think it will just go back to itself. From the dark we came. To the dark
Will return. Isn't that like a story of reincarnation? Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
100%.
I do. But how much of your reincarnated self you are aware of may now be the enlightenment we're talking about. But of course, we cannot know how everything works. I do not know how everything works. I don't know how half of the thing works. But there are parts of even myself that sometimes often make me feel like, well, this reincarnation will be true because I've never experienced this thing before. How do I know it? Yeah, in this life. So, yeah, reincarnation can be true. I don't know. But one thing is certain, I cannot remember where I was before I came here.
I don't think anybody can.
I don't think anybody will remember where they go
Yeah.
after they come. I think it's just ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Dust to dust.
Even the pastor says it. And even the concept of
Reincarnation.
resurrection.
Resurrection, okay.
And then everlasting life. They're so skewed because first of all, there's some 5,000 years already between us and the first set of people to die.
Yeah.
Maybe 10,000 years ago. They never resurrect though. You wait for resurrection. You never say anything. Then the concept of heaven.
Oh, God.
The concept of heaven makes zombie of you. You wake up every day. There's food. There is happiness. Everything is perfect every day for the rest of your days. I don't know. I think I'm going to lose my mind. I think I'll play purgatory. So that.
Yeah, I think you tweeted something about that. You think purgatory is a much more interesting place.
Yeah. So I can sit so far a bit and enjoy a bit. You know, like real life. You know, if you go to hell, there's no end to your torture. If you go to heaven, there's no end to your happiness. What kind of extreme thing is that? Let us be in the middle. I'm good. To be the bit.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about your name, BrymO.
Yeah.
Your name is Olawale.
Oloforo.
Yes.
Original Olawale Ashimi is.
Ashimi. So where does the Brym come from?
I think it started with, I wanted to coin a stage name that is unique. So I took Ibrahim, which is my original name.
Okay.
And I said, first of all, I'm not an Arab. I can't be an Arabic name. And then I called my mom, I said, what are my other Yoruba names, options I can pick? She said, Olabi, Temitayo, Olawale. I said, I like Olawale first. Later I've been thinking of Olabi. So I can just be O, just like my son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my son is Olawale Oloforo. So I wanted to just be Olawale Olabi Oloforo. Lately, you see, nothing is stated. As we go further, we want to change our minds. You know, so yeah. So I started to just chop down Ibrahim, so it can be Brym. But then it will be BRIM. Since Ibrahim is I, there's no Y in it. So, of course, done the blood since. Pick up my dictionary. I think I know an English word that spells BRIM. So I picked up Brym. Ouch. BrymO. No, that won't work. So I took the I and made it into a Y.
Into a Y.
Yeah. So that I could just be Brym. And then most of the time when I tell someone my name is BrymO, they'll be like, Ibrahim? I was like, yeah, you get it. So yeah, something like that. That's where BrymO came from.
All right.
And then the O, I think, is Olawale. Yeah. So on my first album, you see Brym.O. Yeah.
But now it's just together.
So I just,
BrymO.
what's the point? People can't say Brym.O anyway. So let's just say BrymO.
BrymO, yeah. You told your dad during the conversation when you were young that God doesn't make anyone rich. That is the values that we solve or that we give other people that brings us. So do you still hold that thoughts till now?
Yeah, it's worse now. Especially when realizing that people actually invented money. That fucks me up every time I think about it. Like, wait.
My money is printed.
Somebody is printing this shit. God? God has nothing to do with it.
Honestly.
God will value you. Yes. Which is still based on the values you give to other people.
True.
In fact, getting rich is like other people asking you to show working. That's why in Africa, people get rich by that winner takes all thing I told you. You don't want to know the games that are going on behind your back. That your old uncles and fathers are playing on you and your peers to give you rewards. You don't want to know.
Honestly. Oh, that's a very dark place.
It's a dark place.
It's really dark place to
People are
imagine.
in the corner looking at you and going, I like that one. Set him up to do this. Let's see who wins. Whoever wins gets a reward. People are doing that shit in this country.
Yeah.
However, in the West, people are saying, invent something. Whatever you invent, people like it. We can give you a big grant to go and start a business with it. You see, is anybody making money or just getting money? Nobody's making money. Nobody is working for money. Okay. That's why the Bible says, Shekolowo. You wonder, what do you mean by Shekolowo? But if you don't sell something, you won't chop now.
Chop, yeah.
Well, I've been selling something. I probably sell more than everybody. I'm not as rich as I should be. Why? Because there's a way they share money here.
There's a formula.
There's a formula they use here. And they will always try to apply it. And I tell you for sure, as long as I live, before I leave this world, we will change it. It's too dark.
Definitely.
We can't keep doing like that.
We need to shed in some light.
Yes. People need to invent things that other people can buy. That way, your loans. I hear that people like Apple, they still owe a lot of money to the banks.
Yes, they do.
How come they're still owing when they have something they're selling? Because it's Shekolowo still. I understand it. But what grants you that money matters still. Really because if you invented an iPhone that everybody wants to buy, it makes sense that the bank can give them $1 billion as loan. That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because now they will sell an iPhone to you and the money will go back to the bank slowly. But if we do a winner takes all, and I set you up in a competition between two guys to give them something, they might not even know what the battle's for. Nobody learns anything. That's all. That's the difference. It's Shekolowo, we know that. But what we do for the money still matters. The fairness.
Still matters.
Yeah, the fairness in that competition matters.
Wow, that's really, really mind-blowing. Okay, since 2013, you've been planning your concerts, and you've been working, planning everything, getting your instruments. Here's what I want: your album art cover, the designs. Who comes up with it? Because in my mind, the cover for Clitoris, that image, I would have put that image for Osho. Okay. The cover for Yellow, I would have put that one for probably, I don't know, maybe merchants, dealers, and slaves or something. So like those images, how do you decide, or who designs them?
For merchants, dealers, and slaves, I think I came up with everything, and then I found someone to paint it.
Okay.
I wanted it because of down. I wanted to still have a canoe there, to have a bushman, and the huts, like an Awori man, from the Yoruba area. I wanted to have that still, and that was how we lived when slavery happened, and all that stuff. So I wanted to just do that. For Yellow, the album was never supposed to be called Yellow. I think I was in a great rift with the muse, who wanted me to always go out then, and I always thought that there's nothing out there. These boys are crazy. I don't want to have friends. And I should be like, no, you just go out, And I was writing the songs. And then I went to see a friend of mine called Alex, in Lebanese, and in VI actually. And then we would sit there in his apartment, chill, and have fun a lot of times. One day I went to Alex's house, and Alex had repainted his apartment. And I was going, wow, Alex, lovely paint work. I love it. And we're talking. And the next thing, Deji came, another friend, and was like, I love this yellow side. I'm like, yellow? Where is it? Oh, fuck, I didn't see that. And then we started laughing about it. And then Alex said something about yellow being the color of happiness. I said, oh, really? He said, yes. I said, wow. Happiness was part of my list of options for the album title. Why would I just call album Happiness?
Happiness.
Too generic.
Too, yeah.
I'm like, yes, I think I'll use yellow. And then, while we were sitting there, Ayola, a painter, in VI, called again. Who happened to know Alex? And then hired me for a gig. And then he said that there will be a live painting session at that event, and that they cannot pay me my full pay. They were going to give me half, and then I can take what painting I like from the night. I said, okay. Now Alex heard me about yellow, right? Alex knows the boy who painted yellow eventually. Okay. So I think he whispered to him like saying, do something with yellow. I think it did. Because we go to the event, and then if you see the picture I posted yesterday for the anniversary, it is actually the real painting.
The real painting.
From that event.
Wow.
So he had to then convert it to a digital form for the album cover. Something like that. So that was how that came about. It's always a very jumble of stories.
Honestly, because
for Clitoris, it was just album was recorded, I was looking for a cover. And I googled, I found somebody who has a website who sells album covers from somewhere in Illinois or somewhere like that. And I paid him $500 or so, $1,000 for the cover. And then I posted the cover and Apple Music said, nope, pornography. I'm like, Jesus, come on, Shibai. Then we had to get another graphic designer in Lagos to put sunflowers on it.
Well, everybody knows what's supposed to be there. So what's the point? Oh goodness. Right, so you write songs late in the middle of the night. Would you say that's like your optimal creative time? Or it's just like the serenity of the night?
Yes. Wow, I can't even remember the last time I wrote a song in a day, actually. And even if I did, I would start, then I'll probably just leave it alone until later on. I think there is a lot of signals jamming during the day.
Yes, a lot of energy clashes, a lot of frequencies.
For something, so that so many of us are weak. And at night, everything is quiet, and it's easier to just work.
That's really interesting. I prefer working at night as well. When I was crafting,
everything flows faster.
It really does. When I was working on our questions, everything, research, I did everything 12 a.m., 2 a.m. It was really good. Jamming a song, of course. In your conversation with The Naked Truth, you spoke about seeing things, and you've mentioned it here as well, that you usually see things before they happen. And then, so you're not really surprised anymore. What's the farthest you've seen? Like
100 meters. like headlights in the dark. Wow. That's the concept right there. If you were to see the whole of your life, there would be no point living.
There will be no excitement.
There will be no excitement. So it is like headlights in the very pitch black of night. You can only see, you can't see more than 100 meters ahead, but it does. And that gives the driver ample time to be ready for the next 100 meters. So he doesn't drive into the rocks. So that way, I see enough to keep moving forward, and I don't want to see more. so that all the joy,
all the surprise will not be taken out.
And I think we all have the same gift. It's just trusting in your sight. There's always a moment where you feel like I should not do this just before.
Yeah, and then I do it, and then I'm like, fuck,
I should something like that. That's what it is.
It's starting to sound like some Professor X kind of thing.
And the more you just listen to yourself, the more you now keep listening to yourself. The better you get at listening to yourself. And like I said before, it's better to listen to yourself and feel
than listen to someone else and feel.
Because you find out that you never feel when you listen to yourself. You only learn at worst.
Wow. Let's talk about future collaborations. What artists do you think you would like to, at some point, work with or create music with?
Anyone, anybody, everybody possible. Even though lately, I have said clearly that after my cab drops, I want to drop the title of musician. Don't call me musician again. I'm a sonic artist.
I feel like all Sigmas have always called you sonic artist.
In fact, Sigmas were the cause of everything. They're like, Oga, define this thing. You are different. I said, alternative is okay. You have created that, but we don't agree. You know, alternative. You know,
it's much deeper than
that.
Yeah.
Until after Sonic Artistry was announced, I could tell that Sigmas were like,
finally,
we've done it. Now we can rest. You know, so yeah. So what was the question again? Sorry.
I was thinking collaboration. Yes. Artists you like to work with.
I still have quite a good people on my list. I still have Asha right there. I still have beautiful media there. I still have Adele. I still have Bruno Mars.
Good God.
I still have Coldplay. Ooh, I have John Mayer. Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus. If I can catch that,
it has to happen, because I just kept imagining the kind of magic you would create if these people.
There's something about John Mayer that's very, very interesting. Now, patterns again. For me, as a Libra man, like Fela, like my father, like Tigger, like Lanre. You see, my most favorite male musicians, male figures in music are Libra men, like my dad, Fela, John Mayer. my most favorite managers to work with are Libra men, like Larry, like Tigger. Even though Larry had the fights, my next manager is a Libra. If I went farther, I'll make sure he's my brother. You know?
Yeah.
So there's something about Libra men. If you think you are stubborn in this life,
Hey,
Joker.
good God.
Libra. Jesus Christ.
Good God.
Nice people. But when he talks saying, I hear you want stand, Omo, and then go stand up. My father ran a small home, 1 child, 1 wife. They're still together till now. He ran it. Nobody paid his rent. Nobody paid my school fees. He ran it every day. And that the doggedness is interesting. Sometimes John Mayer, sometimes Fela got beaten. He kept showing up every fucking day.
Never got tired.
So he went down with his ship. He sat there and said, fuck this government till the end. You know, so that's some kind of resolution that you need in your corner. When I noticed that pattern from my dad, to listen to Fela, to listen to John Mayer, so I have my mind made up in that corner. Because it's business.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, so I have my mind made up in that corner on the kind of people I like to work with. So that's one of the, I'm just making an instance of how patterns lead me to making decisions. Mm-hmm. And also fate. Because I didn't know Tega was going to be a Libra when I met his sister. How did I know? I wouldn't know. So there's a part of our story that is fated, the part that we decide, and the part that the surrounding decides for us. That's how I like to see it.
I think one thing I've enjoyed most from this conversation is the fact that you pay attention to a lot of patterns, and you've mastered the art of getting the meanings from reading. Well, at least you've mastered it more than myself. I mean, I notice patterns too, and I listen, but I don't listen to myself a lot of time.
January, February, March, April, you're 5th, you're 5, your number of life, and then you're 4th, your number of process. You're one of the 4th, right?
How did you know?
You told me.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So we number of process.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You are fucking good. You're Taurus. We're not okay like that. We are on a different level.
Honestly, we are. Really are. Okay. At this point, I think we should just have like 1 or 2 games, and then I'm going to play. Here's a trick one. I know you ace it, but like I'll say some of your lyrics.
Okay.
You tell me the album and the track.
Okay.
But while we're playing snooker.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.